Welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and we are here to review WWE Survivor Series 2018. Well, guys, the show just went off air, and it's a different one. It's a doozy. I'm going to give my thoughts on all the matches. I do have grades down below in the description box. Also some links to my podcast, Facebook group, Twitter handle. So make sure you guys check me out and all that stuff. Give us a follow at EPW Show. And if you guys like the content that we're providing, do me a favor. Make sure you give us a subscribe. Now, I am also going to have a live chat up throughout the show. So if you're in the live chat, talk to me. Once we get some people in there and it fills up and I'm starting to get asked questions, I will most definitely talk with you guys. So let's get right into the show. We start off with the kickoff match. Now, the kickoff match had the big tag teams all in it, Raw versus Smackdown. We had 5-on-5 tag team elimination chamber. We had Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, the Ascension, the B team, Lucha House Party, and the Revival versus the Usos, the New Day, Epico and Primo, Karl Anderson and Luke Gallows, and SANitY. I was trying to pay attention during this match. It was there. So basically it started off very slow. I was not a big fan of it. You're going through the motions. Everything's happening throughout it. And I don't know. You see teams like Epico and Primo in here, and you're like, where the hell have they been? The tag division on both shows has been so lackluster and not useful. Now, are there bright spots in the tag division? 100%. The Usos, New Day. I'm a big fan of the Revival. I even like Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. Just weird. So you go through the match. You know who's getting eliminated when you're looking at it. You're seeing a lot of teams like the B team, Epico and Primo. All the crap teams, Lucha House Party, they're all getting eliminated. Ascension, they're gone. You saw some really cool spots throughout the match. The one I remember was Chad Gable German suplexing one of the Usos out onto the floor with everybody catching them. Very cool spot. Looked amazing. Epico and Primo. Oops. I apologize for that. So, not down with this. What's up, Lauren? What's going on? We're just talking about some Survivor Series, so if you have anything you want to say about it, we're talking about the kickoff match right now. They had the pretty cool German suplex. Everyone's out on the floor. They fall down. Just, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it too much until we get to the end, to where you're getting down to the teams on both sides. I thought it really picked up once you had Gable and Roode and the Revival versus New Day and the Usos. Excellent, excellent match at that point. Guys were going crazy, doing whatever they could. I love when you see the Chaos Theory from Gable and Roode does the neck breaker into it. People were making saves. Roode and Gable end up getting out from, he gets caught in a moonsault for them to hit the midnight hour, up, up, down, down, whatever the hell you want to call it this week. New Day eliminates them, but then there were some botches by the Revival. There were a couple in a row, and people were complaining, but then they perfectly hit Xavier Woods with their finisher, that combination into the code breaker. I can't even think of it now. What's the name of it? The Shatter Machine, I'm sorry. And he lands it on Xavier. Picture perfect. 1, 2, 3. The Revival were holding their own in this match. And it comes down to the Revival and Usos. I like that feud that they had going on there. They made you believe a couple times with some Doomsday Device moves that the Revival were winning. They even had you believe the Usos were winning a couple times, and the Revival made saves and kicked out. But in the end, they hit a double super kick on Dash Wilder, then they hit on Dawson the same move, and Jimmy follows up with the big splash off the top rope, and he dedicates it to Roman Reigns, because while he's in the air, he does the cocking of the fist, hits the splash. 1, 2, 3. The winners are Team Smackdown and the Usos are the sole survivors. So C+ match. It picked up towards the end because in the beginning I absolutely wasn't feeling the match. I hated it. We get to another match. There's an interview backstage, and I guess kicking Natalya and Ruby Riott off the team happened, and they got replaced with Bayley and Sasha Banks on the Raw team. Survivor Series has to be one of the biggest like bait and switch shows. The show was okay from Lara. I'm sorry. The show was okay. It was beautiful hearing the boo for Nia music to my ears. Yeah, some people are not the biggest fans. B-Boy Skyline, what's happening, sir? NXT was way better. I fully agree. Yes, I fully agree. We get to the main show, though, guys. I'm sorry, let me finish my thought on that bait and switch, too. Trying to stay up with the live chat here. So, the bait and switches that I'm talking about, every year when we get to Survivor Series, they tease that this person's going to be in, then they switch out this person. Or this match is going to happen, then they switch it out with this match. They did it last year with Jinder Mahal. They've done it for years and years and years with who's going to be in charge of stuff or whatever. It's freaking weird. And I don't know, Survivor Series just does it. I'm tired of the crap with it. What's going on, everybody? If you're in the live chat, do me a favor. If you like the video, click the like button. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. Really helps me out trying to get to that number 1,000. I know I'm at around 200 right now, so thank you very much. Just trying to get big like the rest of the YouTubers who talk about wrestling. Now, I want to hear from you guys, so if you're in the chat, make sure you're commenting, and I'm reading them out here. So if I say your name wrong, I apologize, but I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear exactly what you thought of Survivor Series right now. We're on the Women's Survivor Series tag match, and we get into the match. Things that I noticed immediately. Sasha and Bayley were added in to replace Nia Jax had heat. And I know that was mentioned before by NOE Lara in the chat here. The heat that Nia Jax had was really good, and WWE is taking advantage of it, similar to how Impact Wrestling took advantage with Sami Callihan. They are using that injury to boost the character of Nia Jax. So, whatever. In the end, though, we get down to it. A bunch of eliminations occur. And some things I took away from it were Mandy Rose is a potential star for this company, especially if she can get her wrestling down. I see a lot of positive things for her. Bayley did an excellent job. Sonya Deville impressed me too. Mickie James, she still got it. But when we look at this and we go to the end of the match where you had Asuka by herself for Smackdown, Sasha on the Raw side, and Nia Jax. Now, the interaction with Sasha and Asuka, very good. I loved it and everything to deal with it. Minus when the end happens and Nia Jax pushes Sasha Banks off the top rope and winds up tapping out to Asuka due to something so stupid. Mr. Floodwater says, why bury Smackdown? Why? Oh, don't worry, Flood. We're going to get into it and talk about that. Trust and believe. So we're up here talking about Survivor Series and the women's match. Nia Jax cost one of her teammates the match, and in the end, she comes into the ring, leg drops Asuka 3 times and pins her. Hate the fact that Asuka had to eat the pin and that they're pushing Nia Jax, but I wonder what everyone else thinks about it. Does Nia deserve this? Is it rewarding her for the wrong thing? Is it a smart move? I can see both sides of it, so I want to hear what you guys think on that. Overall, I gave that a grade of a C, that match. Now, afterwards, we see like a scoreboard come up and it says Raw 1, SmackDown 0. And going back to what Mr. Floodwater123 in the chat was talking about, what the hell, man? Like, so we're not going to count the kickoff show match? In my opinion, that's bullshit. Like, why wouldn't you count the kickoff match? And basically, my problem is WWE management tells all these people backstage, oh, if you go out there and you grab this brass ring and the kickoff show is just as big a part of the show. No, this goes back to what Austin Aries and everyone else has talked about in the past. Dude, that's not anything. You don't respect the kickoff show matches and you expect the talent to. So this is a prime example. And if you're a WWE talent and you happen to watch this or see this, I would show this to Vince McMahon or anyone in management and say, this is why we disrespect the kickoff show matches. So, in my opinion, the Usos, the New Day, they don't need to be on kickoff show matches anymore. And the same with the Cruiserweights, and I'll get into their match later on in this review. They don't need to be in there. Jayhawk's reactions, what's going on? WTF was that pay-per-view? Oh yeah, we're talking about it right now. We just finished the women's match, and now this is a perfect time to transition into the IC champ versus the US champ, Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Notes that I have here. Bad placement for this match. I felt like this match had a slow burn to it. It didn't feel right. It felt clunky. Stuff just wasn't really working with it, in my opinion. And I don't know if it was the placement or what, but not a fan. It picked up at the end, though. We had some good stuff happen. A Kinshasa was landed on Rollins. He kicked out of it. Surprise, surprise. And in the end, Rollins wins with a curb stomp. A match I gave a C to. Nothing too much to it. I was expecting Dean Ambrose to interfere, but we also learned that at TLC, we are going to have Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental title. A match that anyone could look forward to. So, we move on here to the next match. Oh, this is my WTF match of the night right here. This is the SmackDown Tag Champs versus the Raw Tag Champs. The Bar with Big Show versus AOP with Drake Maverick. My notes say very little. It says WTF, Drake Maverick peed himself, WTF, and Enzo Amore got kicked out. The best part of this match was Enzo Amore being in the crowd and then him getting booted out. I don't know what the hell that was. Enzo Amore apparently was in the crowd, I guess, and I couldn't explain it to you. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can pull up the picture on my phone here. I believe I saved it. This right here was Enzo Amore at the show. What is this? He wore a disguise, and he wound up getting kicked out of the arena for whatever shenanigans he was doing. Some say he went backstage. I don't know if this was planned or whatnot, but do you guys want to see Enzo Amore back in the WWE? Let me know down below, even if it's in the comment section after this video goes up. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. This match sucked, though. They had Drake Maverick pee himself. That's real good for your general manager who manages a tag team to piss his pants on a pay-per-view. Whoever wrote this, no. C- for it. This was getting real close to the D territory. I'm trying to be respectful towards the authors of pain, and Cesaro did a good job in the beginning of the match. Don't do some crap like this again, please. In the end, the winners were the authors of pain. And that shows right now, if we're keeping score, Raw's up 3-0 to SmackDown. We get to our next match. Pardon me here. Let me just grab a drink. And it is the Cruiserweight title match. Buddy Murphy, who is the champ, versus Mustafa Ali. Did we see him on TV? It was on there if you were paying attention, Flood. And Flood says, hell no, he doesn't want Enzo back. So we get Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali. If you have not seen these matches, these guys are incredible. And same thing here. Really good match in my opinion. It was a runner-up for match of the night. We saw some pretty cool things. My favorite spot in the match was the Spanish fly off the table. Mustafa Ali runs up on one of the announcer tables and grabs onto Buddy Murphy. Does a backflip off of it onto the floor on the padding. Amazing. We even got 205 live chants. A year ago, would you have ever imagined hearing that on a pay-per-view or seeing 205 live guys on the main pay-per-view? I wouldn't have. So, afterwards, this match goes on, and Buddy Murphy ends up picking up the victory. I'm not sure what his finisher is called. It's kind of like an inverted angle slam. But Buddy Murphy picks up the win. I was real happy to see it. Yes, Jayhawk says that Murphy and Ali was amazing. I agree with that 100%. They did a really good job. Overall grade B. This is one of the matches that if you are going to go back and watch the show, watch this match. Now, we get a promo for Lars Sullivan. So it looks like Lars Sullivan is being called up to the main roster. I don't know what's going to happen with him. On NXT, it took me a while to warm up to Lars Sullivan, but towards the end, I didn't think he was that bad of a talent, and I hope that Vince and Triple H have a plan for him when he comes up, unlike the last call-ups that we had. So, hopefully Lars Sullivan gets to do his thing. Next, we get to the men's Raw versus SmackDown match with both teams. Let's review who was actually in this match for both sides. We had Corbin was the team captain. We had Finn Balor, Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley versus team captain Miz, Jeff Hardy, Shane McMahon, Samoa Joe, and Rey Mysterio. This one was kind of awkward. This is where I started getting really tired watching the show. Couldn't explain to you why. Just did. Let's see here. So, we see a lot of fighting with the Raw guys, but they dominated in this match. Samoa Joe got eliminated within like the first 30 seconds due to a Claymore kick from Drew McIntyre. I didn't like that. I'm a huge Samoa Joe fan. Like, what the hell? Why would you eliminate him that fast? I was disappointed by that. I have WTF Joe elimination. I also said that 205 Live has more wins than the SmackDown brand at this point in the show. So, that was horrible. And we had a lot of fighting amongst themselves with the Raw brand, whether it was Drew and Braun, Drew and Finn. But Drew was the focal point of all the fights. In the end, though, we saw some craziness from Shane, Rey Mysterio, even The Miz. SmackDown guys did their best, but they could not hold off Team Raw. Braun ended up hitting the running power slam on Shane in the end for the 3 count, and it was over. They ended up having the survivors of Braun, Drew, and Lashley. They did their thing, man. Shane did 2 coast to coast in the match. He did his best. Nothing too crazy, but nothing horrible either. I gave it a C+. It's just how I felt watching that one. Yeah, so I predict big things for Drew McIntyre while you're watching like Raw upcoming. Drew's gonna have some big matches at WrestleMania. Excuse me. Oh man, my voice is starting to die out here. We got Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. This match I struggled during too. I started getting really tired. Once again, proving that these pay-per-views are way too long. So, lots of submission based in here. Good wrestling match. Nothing horrible. Overall, though, I give it a B- for that match. And the men's SmackDown was C+. B- for this match. The real story comes at the end of the match, though. In the end, Charlotte winds up getting disqualified when she hits Ronda Rousey with a kendo stick that she found underneath the ring. Charlotte freaking snaps, though, in this match, and she loses her shit, basically. After the DQ, she gets the kendo stick and beats her down. Charlotte threw her into the ring steps, pummels her with the kendo stick. Bad. Like, the kendo stick was breaking. That's how bad she was beating her with it. Marks all over her body from her arm to her back. She didn't care. The referees are trying to stop her, and she's chasing them off. Charlotte screams and leaves the ring, but then she gets back in the ring and hits a natural selection on Ronda Rousey with a chair that was thrown in the ring earlier. The ref comes back to hold Charlotte back, but Charlotte's shoving them, pushing them down. I think she even speared one of them. And Charlotte shoves the referee out the ring. She didn't care. Stomp Ronda's head with her head tucked between a chair. And everyone comes out to check on Ronda to make sure she's okay. And Charlotte has this crazed look on her face. Overall, in the end, this was borderline C because I didn't find it interesting. It was kind of boring to me a little bit. Lots of what you would expect for the match. but the after effect of the match saved it, and I gave it a B minus. Charlotte has went crazy. Boo the Woo is in full effect, so she has embraced it. Ronda got a lot of boos, though. If you want the real crowd reaction, nobody was feeling Ronda Rousey basically trying to be the babyface and get sympathy for this. Nobody gave a damn about it. So she's going to have to figure out what they're going to do with her. And even at the end when she gave that look on the ramp, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but she gave a look on the ramp like, I can't believe you guys are booing me right now. And she's kind of the female version of Brock, though. She's not there all the time, and then when she does show up, she puts in her work, but nobody likes her. She's not putting in her dues, and she's not Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is the hottest person in this company right now for female wrestlers. Sorry, that's just the way it is, and I agree with it. Becky has been simply amazing on the microphone, in the ring, and character development, and that's why everyone is behind her. Overall, though, B minus for the match. We'll see what happens developing on SmackDown and Raw with this. Stay tuned on that. And we get to the main event of the evening. We have Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan. Now, this match was changed from Brock and AJ due to Bryan winning the WWE Championship on SmackDown on Tuesday. I was actually into this match because only thing in my notes that I have is well done. And this actually is getting my match of the night due to how they played it off. In the beginning, Brock Lesnar dominated Daniel Bryan. He just threw him around. You had Bryan doing some dance around in the beginning, but once the German suplex started and he said Suplex City, he was getting belly to belly, bear hug, thrown all over the ring like a rag doll. He was picking him up after F5s, toying with Bryan, but after a couple of kicks to the head, when Bryan finally landed him, he started getting his momentum. He even hit a running knee on Brock Lesnar. And then after that, Bryan went crazy. He started kicking them, suicide dives, slamming them in the ring post. Bryan did not care. That's how he was into the match. They even teased him slamming his leg in so that he couldn't continuously F5 him. And what wound up happening was once they get back into the ring, he hits another running knee. 1, 2, he kicks out. Brock ends up going to the outside, trying to hit him with the ring steps. Then he hit a second running knee strike for a 2 count on Brock. Bryan goes up for a missile drop kick, hits it. Bryan tries to hit some knee strikes. Brock blocks one, and he gets him down into a yes lock after a failed F5 because of his leg being hurt after he rammed it into the post. Brock fights out, and Bryan gets him in a triangle choke from the yes lock. And in from the triangle choke, Brock picks him up, literally, and then puts him on his shoulders, hits a F5, 1, 2, 3. Brock Lesnar wins. And if you're doing a tally count of who won for the night, Raw sweeps with all of the victories, which is horrible in my opinion for how they treated SmackDown on this. 205 Live did wind up with more victories than SmackDown, in my opinion. And I don't understand it. That's horrible and uncreative booking, in my opinion. No other way to see it. So, after the match, Lesnar's in the ring and he celebrates and it goes off the air. Other than that, guys, I don't have anything. Well, now, when I look at this overall grade for the show, I sat back and thought about it, and I gave it a C+. The last match was pretty decent. They did what they had to do, and I bumped it up. The last 2 matches saved them greatly because this was borderline approaching getting a C to a C-. But they saved it with Bryan, Lesnar, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey in that 205 Live match. Other than that, the rest of the show, in my opinion, was shit. I couldn't care about it. I could care less. Now, if you guys are watching this after the fact, do me a favor, guys. Make sure you leave a like on the video. It helps more people see the video. I know you hear that in every video, but if you check it out, it means a lot to me. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, do me a favor, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Let's talk some pro wrestling. I review other stuff besides WWE, from New Japan, Ring of Honor. There's a bunch of stuff on my channel if you want to see what else I review. Video games. Check that out as well. In the description box, there's a Facebook group my Twitter handle in a podcast if you guys want to check that stuff out as well. I will have a retro review series for Survivor Series coming up, or retro review, I should say, for Survivor Series that is voted on by our Facebook group this week. I can't wait. There is one that is ahead right now, but I don't want to say anything because it's still early. So I appreciate you guys who took the time to check it out. Leave some comments down below, and I am out. I appreciate you guys. Peace.